I'm ready when you are.
I think we're live. I don't know.
All right, let's see if we get some people. Looks like some people are coming through the chat.
I'm trying to make sure everyone knows. A few seconds. Sorry, folks. First time running the ones and twos all through, and I don't know why it was not coming through. So sorry about that. Probably should just do this on Friday nights. Just make life easier.
It didn't help that.
It's why do I try so hard?
Didn't help that the Reds, played decided to get 2 hits against Jack Kochanowicz and blazed through that game.
And well. PJ Higgins like, all right, thankful. Okay, we're just gonna have one long inning here to make sure everything's ready to roll. That had to be the fastest position player pitching inning in the history of the sport.
We did have it. We did have a super chat in the old stream that I wanted to read out.
Let's make sure he's here. Tim Barnes, if you're here, can you? Well, I guess we could read it and then make sure Tim Barnes saw it later. Okay. Tim Barnes will start off with this. Said, I think people are frustrated because even though we have a winning record, the writing has been on the wall that a losing streak was coming. Somehow the offense is terrible yet again. Yeah, I mean, this offense has just been really bad. And tonight was the first night. Yeah, I don't want to just go. This super chat kind of answers the whole show, and then it's time to call it a night. But I agree with you, Tim, for sure. It's been really bad. There's not really a whole lot more. So
I got a box score recap for you if you want me to.
Yeah, let's let me try to set this up a little bit so I can cut this up because I do not feel like editing a podcast for 5 hours on a Friday night. No offense to anyone. But let's kind of just jump in here and we'll just kind of do a 3-2-1 start and we'll try to have a fun show. So all right, well, welcome into Chatterbox Reds. Nick Kirby joined by Mike Hart here on this Friday night. Reds fall 10-2 to the Angels in an ugly baseball game. Offense continues to struggle. Chase Burns didn't have his best stuff. I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it, Mike. But other than that, how you doing?
Good. I was scrambling, putting kids to bed, as I'm sure you were as well. And I had to listen to it all on the radio because of Apple TV. But besides that, great game. I guess it could have been feels like that's the game to not get eyes on, right? It's not like we missed some big play that could have swung the game because I wasn't watching. Just got to listen to the radio broadcast, and now I'm here to talk about it with you. Finds the shred of hope in this performance.
I've tried to fight the fight with Mike on Apple TV. I love Apple TV. I think Apple TV is the best bargain of any of the streaming apps. I love all their shows. So for me, it's not much of a pain, but I do understand the people who don't already consume Apple TV being annoyed because this is crazy, how many different streaming services you have to have when you already have to pay for a lot of people $100 a year to watch the Reds. But nonetheless, it was on Apple TV. Plus, I'm like you. Yeah, I didn't really get to dive into a whole lot of the broadcast. I do love the little money line live at the bottom that they put. I think that's a really cool feature. It's fun for me. I didn't love it after about the second inning.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy it early when the Reds were favored. And I think this is one of 2 or 3 games all year the Reds have actually been favored, and they lose 10-2. But Mike, let's just jump right into it. Give us the box score recap.
Yeah. So box score recap, is that brought to you by a sponsor at all that we need to read, or is that
it is? Why don't you do it and I'll read it at the end.
All right. So the Cincinnati Reds would begin their 3-game series at home against the Los Angeles Angels, and they would have Chase Burns on the bump tonight, facing the 25-year-old Jack Kochanowicz with his career 5.71 ERA. But the Angels got on the board in the second as Chase Burns' control was not sharp today. Yohan Moncada walked, and then after 2 singles, he walked Adam Frazier with the bases loaded, their number 9 hitter, to make it a 1-0 game. Then the Angels got another one in the second inning as there was a double by Jorge Soler, who for some reason is not suspended. I don't I don't quite understand that, but he's somehow still playing, even though he decided to fight the entire Braves team a couple days ago. And then a single by Moncada dropped right in front of Steer and made it a 2-0 game. Then in the fourth, after a walk, Zach Neto homered to dead center to make it 4-0. So the Reds, it's the bottom of the fifth. The Reds still only have one hit, and then Kochanowicz goes ahead and walks the 7, 8, 9 batters. So now we have bases loaded with one out, and TJ Friedel comes to the plate and still struggling, grounds out to first base. Benson scores on that play, and then McLean grounds out to end the threat. Then the Angels were right back at it as Josh Lowe homered in the top of the sixth to make it 5-1. And then after another single, that would end Burns' night. His final line here tonight was 5 1/3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 walks, and only 2 strikeouts. He gave way to Connor Phillips, who got out of the inning. The Reds could not solve good old Jack Kochanowicz. He finished his night with 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, both of them by Eugenio Suarez as singles, 1 run, 4 walks, and only 2 strikeouts. And then in the eighth is when all hell broke loose. The combination of Sam Moll and Kyle Nicholas could not find the zone, walked up 4 batters, and gave up a grand slam to the, once again, somehow not suspended, Jorge Soler, making it 10-1. Ellie added a home run in the eighth, the bottom of the eighth. His 4th of the year, 3rd off a right-handed pitcher to make it 10-2. Then PJ Higgins came in and was the Reds' second best pitcher of the night and pitched a scoreless 9th. And that would be all for the game. That led it to a 10-2 loss by the Reds. The Angels, 10 runs, 10 hits, no errors. Reds, 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. And that is where we stand tonight, Nick.
All right, we did have a deep drive of the day. The deep drive was Ellie De La Cruz's 4th home run of the year. Exit velocity of 110 off the bat, went 384 feet. And our deep drive of the day is presented by QC Kinetix. If knee pain or shoulder pain is slowing you down, whether it's on the golf course, the pickleball court, or even in the gym, it might be time to talk with the care team at QC Kinetix Cincinnati about regenerative medicine options. QC Kinetix takes a different approach, focusing on treatments designed to help your body heal and recover. They're conveniently located in Liberty Township, right across from Lakota East High School. See what the team at QC Kinetix is all about. Visit www.qckinetix.com or call 513-655-3356. All right, let's jump right into it. I do have a rundown. Unfortunately, no one can see it, but I do have it here on my sheet. The first topic was 3 straight losses. So I guess we'll jump into that. I mean, yeah, pretty disappointing, that the Reds had kind of, in one way kind of build up this incredible start to the season and they're kind of giving most of it back. You can look at it that way. You could also look at it as, wow, the Reds are very fortunate to be 8-6, right?
Mm-hmm.
8-6. We're very fortunate to be 8-6 that they won all those close games. I had mentioned it before, Mike, but the bullpen has only been bad on nights like tonight where you weren't going to win. On nights like they needed them to be good, they've been nails. So I don't know. I mean, it stinks. Like the offense, which is, I guess, the main part of the show, has been really bad. The outfield has been atrocious. Like there's not a single bright spot out there outside of maybe like a Dane Myers platoon. Like that's about it. Like the weak side of the platoon. So I don't know where you at, Mike, right now.
Yeah, I go back and forth because with this offense, obviously, it's good to see Ellie homer again, but it's frustrating that it's kind of in a meaningless time. But yeah, I did some digging into the 2 players that are like in this lineup that basically play every day that are really struggling, because like the bottom of the lineup, I will completely grant you they are struggling, right? Benson, Stevenson, Hayes, right? But those guys don't play every day. They either are swapped out, and Hayes is at least given some time off. Guys are basically playing every day that are really struggling are TJ Friedel and Spencer Steer, right? And TJ Friedel, man, the more you look into it, it's like his average exit velocity is 83.8%. That's 5th percentile. So it's like he is just not. It feels as bad as it is. I sometimes it feels worse, or sometimes it feels maybe he's better because he's hitting the ball hard. He's not hitting the ball hard. He has 8 hits, and of those 8 singles, only one of them has left the infield on the fly. Every single one of them has at least touched ground inside the infield first before heading to the outfield. And I know you mentioned that, yeah, he's still getting on base, still walking, which is good and potentially helpful versus right-handed pitching. I I wonder how long they're willing to put up with something like this. And then Steer also, 86.2%, which is only nine of exit velocity, which is only 19 percentile. But one positive thing about Steer is that he is batting 267 with an 846 OPS and a 132 WRC plus against left-handed pitching. So you can kind of see maybe where this can start going. If Steer continues to play every day and struggle, maybe you're able to move Steer into a platoon to be able to maybe set him up to do well or do better in the options or the at bats in which he's been given. But either way, I mean, those are just the two people that are playing every day that are really struggling. Overall, this offense as a whole is just getting so little from everyone outside of 2, 3, 4, basically. And, that probably wouldn't have made a difference today where they give up 10 runs. But, if they're going to come back in this series, if they're going to be competitive throughout this year, you're going to need to try to win a game in which your starter only goes 5 and gives up 5 earned runs. Like that's not good for Burns, but it's just like you need to be able to have an offense to be able to try to, help a guy out when he struggles like that. And it just really never felt like the Reds offense was in it tonight.
Yeah, I ran the numbers. I'm not a big just blind batting average guy, but all the Reds outfielders combined hitting a $177. Friedel is 8 for 52. Steer is 8 for 44. Benson is 5 for 28. Noelvi Marte is 3 for 21, and Dane Myers is 5 for 19. So they've all equally sucked. So really, I guess if you want to blame one of them, they've all been really bad. And then you can look at that and you can say, yeah, we knew this going into the season that there wasn't really a bona fide above average outfielder. We kind of looked at it going into the season. But there's a lot of guys that have potential, but unfortunately, this is the negative side when none of it works out. And it's been only 14 games. So it's a long season, and some of those guys will break out, but just collectively, it's incredible how bad it's been. And when you do have options like JJ Bleday and Reese Hines that have played really well down at AAA, seems like you got to use them. It's this fine balance though, Mike. I know people are just like, yeah, call them up. It's 14 games though, and you don't want to be an organization that's just completely knee-jerk reaction to everything, because you do want to give guys a chance to work through some of their struggles. But it's hard to watch. It is hard to watch every night. I can definitely assure you I'm watching the same games that you are at home.
Yeah. And I know I'm with you. I'm all for, hey, if this continues, let's get Hines, Bleday, maybe even like Dunn up here giving give them a chance here if there isn't something that already, whether there's an injury that makes a spot for them too. I just, we've also seen runs of not necessarily effective Reese Hines, not effective Blake Dunn. Now, and all of last year was not effective JJ Bleday in the major leagues. So I'm not saying that that's necessarily, all the changes. Reese Hines could be up here and be a new man and really be able to contribute. I definitely think they had the potential to do that. You gotta remember too that it's not like a immediate, like they get called up and all of a sudden the OPS for our outfield shoots up 100 points, right? It's just like, it is AAA still, and yes, crushing AAA is different than being able to do it in the major leagues. So I don't know, maybe that's pessimistic of me that they're going to come up here and may not even do any better. But at some point, I don't know what that point is, but at some point there needs to be some change, some adjustment in some case. I don't know if that's we get to the end of this series and the offense really isn't doing. I don't know if you give it another week, but even another week, you just like 3 weeks, and we're we're pulling the plug on some of this stuff, but like, I don't know. It's starting to feel like the sample size is getting big enough where it's just like, hey, let's start shuffling the lineup, maybe move TJ Friedel out of the top spot. Let's start, maybe seeing if we can get some spark in AAA, something to, spark this offense. Cause it looks like a bunch of guys that are, when they do get up in a spot that to do something, they just are trying to do too much. They don't trust the people behind them. And it's led to some bad hitting and with runners in scoring position and real lack of offensive runs.
Yeah, today was probably the most deflating one because this was, I think, the first game where it was a pitcher that hasn't had really any big league success. This guy's still a talented pitcher. He throws a fastball 97.8 miles per hour, so he's not some bum. But this guy did have like an ERA in the sixes last year, and felt like the most, the best matchup for this offense, and I mean, he only had 6 swing and misses the whole game.
I have some more. Like, yes, he gave up 2 hits, but if you look at this guy, Jack Kochanowicz's numbers compared to even Chase Burns's, I don't know. You be the judge of whether you're encouraged or discouraged by what I'm about to show you. Okay, so Chase Burns obviously struggled with command tonight, right? 4 walks. He had a 53% in zone rate. That means 53% of his pitches were in the zone. Low. You're going to get a bunch of walks when you do that. Jack Kochanowicz, 48%. So a lower zone rate and 4 walks. So this guy was as wild or more wild than Chase Burns. Now, whiff rate, right? Chase Burns had 23% whiff rate, only 2 Ks, right? Very low for what he was, what he normally is, right? He normally 7, 8, 9 strikeouts. Jack Kochanowicz, 22%, only 2 strikeouts. When it hard hit balls, Chase Burns gave up 10 hard hit balls, right? That's 48%. Jack Kochanowicz gave up 8 hard hit balls, 38%. The difference is Chase Burns gave up 7 hits and Jack Kochanowicz gave up 2 hits. So, couple things from that, right? Jack Kochanowicz, I don't think actually pitched too awesome today. And so maybe you can feel a little bit better that maybe their offense is getting unlucky, or, what I see in this is they're getting their bat on the ball and really not doing much with it. Only 2 hits out of it when the Angels were able to, when they got their, bat on the ball, were actually doing damage, driving in runs. So I don't know, some positive things that, maybe they're getting a little unlucky, but some negatives where I think their pitcher probably didn't pitch that well and we still got dominated by him.
Weird baseball game. Reds got 4 hits in this game.
Yeah.
Suarez got 2 of them, and neither one of them were hard hit balls.
Yeah. McLean 2 hard hit balls, both outs. Yeah,
it's a tough game. Yeah. It'd be nice to maybe, put one in the seats though against this guy, like, or something that can't be unlucky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's frustrating. It's been a frustrating. This was kind of the date that I had circled as a day that you were hoping the offense could break out, and they did anything but break out today. I don't know. Do you make anything to it also like in Noelvi Marte's case and in Benson's case, like I wonder how much their playing time has just kind of been sporadic has kind of impacted them.
Yeah. Well, it's tough because if Benson is going to be a viable hitter in the majors, he's basically got to be okay with about the playing time that he's getting, right? Where he plays against most righties, but then gets sit by lefty like that. Like I wouldn't say that his playing time is, maybe it's a little bit less than what it would be if he was going well, but I don't know. And if he's still struggling with the lack of at bats, quote unquote, in this platoon role, which I feel like has been pretty generous to him, to be honest, like, then I think that might be a problem with him just sticking in the majors, right? I know we've seen him go on hot streaks, but it's just like, I don't know if it's lack of at bats for him. I think it maybe is, we've seen him, at least driving some runs, be sparks on the base path, and we've seen some positive from him. Like Noelvi Marte, I think, is being hindered by his lack of playing time, and he comes in and swings at everything because he's only getting an at bat every day, every 2 days or so. So that I do think it's affecting Noelvi Marte. I don't know about Benson. I'm not like there's like 3 or 4 people that I'm worried about more than Will Benson right now. Now, obviously, it's not great. What is it? 179 ER or average with a 544 OPS and no homer yet. Like, obviously, that's not great for what you would expect from Benson. But I still have faith that that's short sample time that he would be able to improve it. Marte doesn't feel like there's a path for him to break out of his slump in his current role as a Red right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's a conclusion that I'm at right now is it just feels like they're not doing Marte any favors either right now for like his development, his career. So it just seems like he should be the one to go down right now. Let him play every single day, kind of see if he can build up his confidence. I really don't like the plan that they've thrown him into. I don't really understand it. I would kind of love to hear it explained a little bit more. Why you're just kind of using him in a platoon-ish role, but you don't even always start him against every lefty. You start him against some righties. It's just been very inconsistent. You pull him out of the game in certain spots that you did start him that aren't even super consequential. It definitely feels like you should send Noelvi Marte down. And honestly, probably as much as I love Rhys Hines, feels like JJ Bleday might almost kind of fill that role better, just as kind of that extra guy. Bleday actually has last year. I'm not a super big believer in it, but he was actually better last year against left-handed pitching. So he's not like a Benson where it's just the only value is right-handed pitching. But yeah, they're just in a tough spot right now where like that they kind of need a right-handed bat, but Rhys Hines hasn't really crushed like lefties either. So I don't know. It's a weird spot, but it seems like they're not doing Marte any favors. The bobblehead night's tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow.
It's today for those listening.
Yeah.
In podcast form. So maybe they set him on the bobblehead and set him down on Monday. I don't know, but it's very weird. I don't understand their usage of him, and I honestly would really like to hear it explained.
Yeah, it is interesting, and I think I'm with you because so if they just send Marte down and whoever they bring up is going to fill this every once in a while bench outfield bat, then I think I do understand you calling Bleday up. I know people are like, well, Hines is the one that's crushing it. So if we call Hines up, which I think we, may come if he continues to hit like he's doing, like bring him up and let's put him in the lineup every day. Let's see if we can just.
Spencer Steer should be getting benched against right-handed pitching if you call up Rhys Hines.
Yeah,
if you're not willing to do that, I don't want Rhys Hines called up.
Right.
I don't want Rhys Hines pigeoned into the same Noelvi Marte role.
I want him getting every day at bats.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that, I don't know if that's the move that would be coming next or first or whatever with what they do. But, when Hines does get that call, I would hope that they would be able to give him just a runway to try to just, hey, let's ride this hot streak out, play against everyone, see if you can mash some home runs for us because we're desperately in need of it. Somehow, Eugenio Suarez is a singles hitter now. So it's crazy. I'm not sure what necessarily what the plan is, but I haven't given up on the season. I've seen a lot of seasons over we can't hit it all. I think it's very early enough, especially to be able to turn it around for I think that there's a lot of people in here that I would expect them to hit better than they're hitting right now, and it will come. It will come. So yes, it is frustrating. I'm right there with you. I'm punching the air, not excited about the fact that we can't hit with runners in scoring position, but I think eventually this offense will come around and be able to, it can't be this bad for a long, long time.
Our guy Dunny actually had a super chat of Higgins better than Nicholas, #free Hines. But then he actually had another point here in the chat that I thought was worth mentioning. Dunny said Hines hits righties better. He has in the big leagues, but that has not been the case in the minor leagues throughout his career. And it's such a very small sample. But I would encourage you to go look at the lefties that Rhys Hines faced in the big leagues. He faced like Chris Sale. He got put into some really brutal starts against lefties. And so, like, I wouldn't put a whole lot of stock into those numbers. I don't think Rhys Hines has hit lefties enough to where, like, he's a like there's a ton of super value as a platoon player. I think Rhys Hines, if there is a potential for him, it's going to be more as like an everyday type player than just a like I don't see Rhys Hines becoming a Dane Myers is what I'm trying to get at. If Rhys Hines has success, he's going to be like, I think, a legitimate outfielder. I kind of think it's all or nothing with Rhys Hines is kind of where I'm at. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I do. I understand that. But and we don't know where it like if he can translate that cutting the strikeout rate, I think, to the big leagues, which is very hard to do. The gap
And it'd be
between
very hard to do. Sorry to cut you off. It'd be very hard to do that in a weak side platoon role.
right, exactly. It's like the gap between AAA and the major leagues is bigger than it's ever been right now. Basically, if you're anywhere halfway decent, they just are like, hey, come develop in the major leagues pitcher wise. So I'm with you. It's if he's able to do that, it's I'd want to see just like, hey, let's go all in and see what this guy can give us. Because if it's good, like it's really special. We've seen what it is, right? It's carry the team for a week. And I think that if he's able to continue to cut that strikeout rate and even just like make hard contact in places, I think that he can really add value to this offense playing every day.
Yeah, to be very clear, me thinking JJ Bleday would probably be the better option right now is actually because of my love of Rhys Hines.
Yeah.
And I have belief in him. I just don't want to see him come up thrown into a weak side platoon role because I basically think he just kind of he's not going to get used, and I don't see him developing at all in that role. Let's jump into a couple other super chats that we got. Big Red Machine Kochanowicz in the 5th inning could not hit the blind side of a barn. And our guys were still swinging at balls. What are we doing, Valleca? Yeah, I'm sure like their approach was this guy is a hittable pitcher, playing in Great American Ballpark. Let's try to be aggressive. Yeah, I don't know. They did walk 4 times tonight, so it's kind of hard to be like they were, too over aggressive. They still were able to draw 4 walks.
Yeah. Looks like Friedel's ground out was in the strike zone. It was a 1-0 count, but it was in the strike zone.
Problem is they're missing hittable pitches.
That is your issue there, because he took that and pounded it into the ground so slow that the first baseman couldn't throw home and just had to step on first base. But McLean's, I guess maybe he might be referring to, so McLean's ground out, it's ball 1 way high and then ball 2 very low, and he grounds out to end the inning. So, maybe if you're Friedel and you're riding as low as you're doing right now, maybe you need to make him give you 1, maybe give you 2. He's just walked 7, 8, 9 to get to you. And then, then McLean sees 2 balls that aren't even close and grounds out. So I understand the frustration there, right? I think that they might've been able to be a little bit more selective there and continue to give some rope out for Kochanowicz to end his outing there. But yeah, man, if you're going to be swinging bases loaded to try to get there, at least make it be a good pitch there, McLean. So yeah, I understand the frustration. That was really our shot, right? It was 4-1. And then after that, it kind of goes off the rails. But if they are able to get a hit there and keep it close, the bullpen gets used differently. So it's just like it's a completely different game. This game seems way out of reach, but like I'm convinced if like McLean or Friedel's able to get a hit there and we get it to 4-3, 4-4, stuff like that, this is a completely different game that we're dealing with. The bullpen's in and all that kind of stuff. So really a turning point in the game that is pretty frustrating that we weren't able to capitalize on.
All right, we'll talk about Chase Burns in the bullpen here in just a second, but we want to remind you, as always, you can call or text 988 anytime, day or night. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is a place to get support for anything related to mental health, whether it's an immediate crisis, simply wanting to find out how to connect with care, or anything in between. It's a 100% secured, anonymous way to reach out for help when you don't know where else to turn. To connect, call or text 988 or visit mantherapy.org to get help. It's okay not to be okay. All right, let's talk about Chase Burns, Mike. Just him and Louder, they were so good the first 2 times through the rotation, and then the third time a little shaky. I know no one wants to give the Angels credit on a night like tonight, but like I thought they had some pretty good at bats against him, man. They laid off some tough pitches, and then unlike the Reds, when Burns had to come in the zone, they were able to kind of pigeonhole where that fastball was coming. They were able to square it up, put some good swings on the ball. I thought the Angels did a pretty good job against Chase Burns. Really made him work. I don't have a whole lot. I mean, it just was a night where Burns's command was off, and it kind of messed everything else up. Like that's really the end of it. Command's got to be better. You move on to your next start.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard to square this as anything but a poor performance by Chase Burns there. And I mean, even with this spotty command, right? He makes it into the sixth, right? And yeah, he gives up that home run, but like on a night where he didn't have his best stats very clearly, didn't have control over stuff, he still pretty much kept you in this game, kept you within it. And the offense, it's just like I wonder how much of it leaves also from you give up a couple runs and then you're like, I need to be perfect here, right? It's just like it starts creeping in with pitchers. It's like you give up a couple runs and it's just like, oh man, we're down 3 runs, 4 runs now. It's just like I got to be perfect here to prevent us from going down any further because this offense is struggling. I don't know if that plays anything into it either, but just it's one of those things where it's like as these young pitchers, they're going to struggle. They're going to come up against people that offensively this Angels team has performed pretty well. Unfortunately, the way that the people have made hay against the Angels is by scoring runs against their not good pitching, and we couldn't do that tonight. So it's just like their offense has hit a lot of home runs just early this year so far, and that's what we saw here. And unfortunately, just wasn't Chase Burns' night.
Maybe the biggest bright spot of the day, Connor Phillips, inning in 2/3, only gave up 1 hit, no walks, which you'd love to see.
Yeah,
struck out 3 batters, kind of looked like the Connor Phillips that we know can be a dominant reliever. Really was impressed with him tonight. Sam Moll had his first bad outing since 2025 today. Just it happened. Tough debut for Kyle Nicholas, giving up a grand slam to make it a 10-1 ball game. Not the way you were wanting to join the Reds, but I still think he's a guy that can help this team. And then PJ Higgins, 1, 2, 3 inning that took about 16 seconds. So shout out to you, PJ Higgins. Any thoughts on the bullpen?
Got a strikeout too. Struck out Josh Lowe. So that's got half as many strikeouts as Chase Burns did today. Obviously it's a tough spot. Nicholas is asked to come in with, I think, 2 men on. And I mean, Mole struck the first guy out and then just completely lost feel, walked 2 guys, and then Nicholas didn't have control either in his first one. So it's unfortunate for those guys, but to be honest, it was when the game felt out of reach anyway. So I thought Nicholas would be better, but you don't know, coming in a spot like that versus a new inning, that's always tough. So I'm Connor Phillips though. He looked nasty. He was nasty in the zone too, which I think was good, right? He was getting contact that was getting him out of the innings. He pitched 1 2/3 innings, very pitch efficient. I don't have the pitches in front of me exactly. He had only 24 pitches in basically 2 innings. 3 strikeouts. He looked good. Encouraged about that. Him coming in and getting back to throwing strikes, I think was a positive thing.
All right. Any other final parting thoughts from this incredible baseball game?
Yeah, I guess there's Trace brought something up. I don't know if you I wasn't able to watch it, but there was a point in time, I think it was in the 8th inning, in which Joe Adele stepped on Sal Stewart running through first base. I don't know if you got to see it or not. It didn't. It was pointed out. Trace talked about it like it seemed to be I don't know. Maybe he thought it was malicious. I don't know if you got to see this, if you had eyes on this, and whether or not this was, him just running to the base quickly, and then we had it was his foot was in a bad place. I don't know if it was like something where it was frustration that led to this collision right here. I don't know of any. I haven't seen anything about whether.
I'm watching the replay right now to give you my reaction.
Okay, all right. Because Trace then went on to maybe insinuate that Adele should wear one on his butt later or tomorrow in the game, which feels, I don't know. I'm not sure how malicious it looks.
I don't know what Trace is looking at here, brother. I mean, this looks like the most harmless accident I've ever seen.
Okay, all right. Like I said, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's. I mean, he's. I think he's running a little bit out of the baseline, but I don't think like that was. Yeah, I don't think there's anything malicious on that.
Okay, I'm not a big proponent on retaliation through hitting because that just leads to them throwing at our guys and all this stuff. And
I don't need anyone. I don't need anyone breaking their hand on a hit by pitch, and
And we've already seen that the Angels are very willing to what's the right word? They have a short fuse for charging out of the dugout. Which, can we talk about that? Like, this happened 2 days ago, and I get that that Jorge Soler is appealing, but how long does it take the MLB to figure out the appeal? Just watch the video again. Like, what is going on? Why is this guy still playing? Like, I guess that didn't ultimately matter in the grand scheme of things, but this dude has been suspended for 7 games. Why is he playing? Like, are they just gonna wait to the end of the series? Like,
yeah, I'm with you. I don't really understand that either. Like, I get like if like something would have happened tonight, okay, maybe I'll give them 1 day. Like, maybe tomorrow he can appeal and because maybe he has so long to appeal, and like I don't know the exact time, but clearly it has to be before the next game. So I'll give them like that next game. But why are we getting 2 games like that, 2 full days? That to me is crazy, and it just makes no sense. Just kind of feels like another one of those just backwards baseball things where like why can you not just move faster in this regard? But you know what? Hey, let's glass half full. The Reds weren't winning this game tonight, Mike. Maybe the appeal gets denied tomorrow, and he's suspended. What was it? Was it 2 games?
7 games. He was suspended 7 games.
So it would have been the whole series either way. But
yeah,
well,
that's what. So another thing is that it was announced 2 days. I think it was announced 2 days ago with the 7-game suspension, and they've already resolved Reynaldo Lopez's appeal, but they haven't resolved his. Soler was in the game the next day against the Braves. Isn't that what you're trying to prevent? You just had a dude that started a brawl against the team, and he's just back in the lineup the next day. It's like, is that what you want? Like, I don't understand why that. Like, I get that you can appeal this, but it's not getting appealed down to 1 game. It's getting appealed down to 5 games, maybe. And like, you shouldn't be playing in this game. I know, maybe this is me being sour grapes, but like, what is this dude? Why? What? Like, are they going to announce it tomorrow? Like, what if he plays this whole series? It's just like, what is going on? Why is this guy? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. My guess is because it was such a long suspension of 7 games. You don't see a whole lot of guys suspended that long. And so
did you watch it?
Yeah, it's just, I'm not saying it's not deserving, but I'm trying to like rationalize why, and maybe it's because it's a longer, maybe the appeals process, maybe there's, I don't know. I agree. It's a bad look. I'm totally with you on that. Hopefully it comes through tomorrow and he's suspended, and we have Jeimer Candelario DHing tomorrow. Which I don't know. I should probably eat my words on that. The Candyman coming back to bite us. Any other final parting thoughts on this historic Friday night Apple TV Plus baseball game?
Once again, I guess please like the stream. I know we collected some likes on the stream that now is dead because we couldn't get it running. So please like the stream. It's going to help us. I'm sorry about the technical sorry about the technical difficulties, but this is really the stream that the Reds deserve tonight from the effort that they gave us. So,
yeah. Let's do a little Reds MILB before we wrap this up. Reds MILB, as always, is presented by 78 Cigars. Cincinnati legend Anthony Munoz has a new venture, and we are fired up to partner with it here on Chatterbox Reds. Introducing 78 Cigars, a premium cigar line from the Hall of Famer himself. If you love great cigars and Cincinnati football history, this is the perfect combination. You can grab 78 Cigars right now at both Montgomery and locations are over at Creekside Cigar Company. You can also check them out online. Just head to anthonymunoz.com, click on the 78 Cigars page, and learn more or place your order today. That's 78 Cigars from the greatest offensive lineman to ever do it, Anthony Munoz. All right, let's do the game that I actually have a lot of notes on first because it went final before the Reds game ended. Daytona, boy, they are struggling. They lose 2-1 to Lakeland. Tortuga's now 1-6 on the season. They only got 2 hits on Friday night, so must have been drinking the Reds Kool-Aid, huh? Tyson Lewis, he was 0 for 4. He's really struggling. He's hitting just $167 through the first 7 games. Even worse, he has 0 walks so far, Mike. 30 at bats. Don't love to see that. Arnaldo Antigua was 0 for 4. Kyle Henley 0 for 4. Ichiro Kano had the only good offensive day. He was 1 for 1 with a walk. But there was one real big positive in this game. This dude named Edgar Colon, 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. This was a 11th round pick in 2024 out of Puerto Rico. Struck out a career high 10 batters. Never struck out more than 5 in a game and strikes out 10. He had 21 swing and misses. Fastball hit 98.5 miles per hour. So really good stuff from Edgar Colon. All right, the rest of the Reds MILB, we're going to just do this on the fly here. We're going to go to AAA where the Louisville Bats, they won 8-2 tonight over Indianapolis. Blake Dunn was 1 for 4. Edwin Arroyo 0 for 4. He had been playing really well. Hector Rodriguez 1 for 4. Did have a triple. Reese Hines was 1 for 4. And your guy, Michael Toglia, 1 for 3, hit his second home run of the year. JJ Bleday was 2 for 4. Luis May, he threw a perfect inning in relief. They're currently in the 8th inning. Chattanooga is down 4-0. Chattanooga is 6-0, so they are on the brink of their first loss of the year. They entered today one of just 3 teams in minor league baseball that were undefeated. Only one of 2 teams that were actually 6-0. Jay Allen is 1 for 4 with a double. Leo Balcazar 1 for 3 with a double. Cam Collier also 1 for 3 with a double. That apparently is the stat line down in Chattanooga tonight. Austin Hendrick is 0 for 3. And Hunter Parks, he gave up a run in 2 innings, struck out 4, but walked 2. And last but not least, the Dayton Dragons, they won again. I think that's 3 in a row for them. They won 7-3 over Lake County. Stone Shields was on the call tonight for part of that game. Kind Vu was 1 for 2. Carlos Sanchez had a big day, 3 for 4 with a triple. Alfredo Duno, he was 1 for 4. Entered today with an on-base percentage of .522. Yerlin Confidant was 0 for 4. That is your Reds MILB, Mike. There we go. Any minor league thoughts from you? Any burning minor league opinions you got to get out? Got to get off your chest, Mike.
Not too terribly.
How about that stat line? How about Edgar Colon?
That was impressive. I mean, anytime you're doubling your career high in strikeouts in a game, that's impressive. The guy had it working tonight. Let's see if we can get a 10 strikeout game out of Shane Lynn in his next outing down there. I guess it is encouraging to see Hines and Bleday still hitting and Dunn still hitting. So I'd hate for them to like cool off by the time that it's like, all right, we're moving on. We're sending Marte down and everyone's cooled off here too.
Didn't have with Benson last year. Wasn't he like on fire? And then he like kind of was like 1 for 15 or something. And they called him up.
Yeah. Yeah. This will be exciting when the Bats come to Columbus, where I'm at. I mean, obviously, I would like them to support the main Reds team, but I'm excited to see some of these guys in person when they are in Columbus.
All right, Mike, we do have baseball again on tomorrow on Saturday. 4:10 start time on Saturday. Reds debuting their new red City Connect jerseys. Lefty Brandon Williamson on the mound against right-handed pitcher George Clausen. Brandon Williamson coming off a brilliant start in Miami, 6 2/3 innings, 3 hits, no runs, only walked one batter. He's never faced the Angels. There's only 3 active Angels batters that have faced him. Jimmy Candelario is 1 for 3 with a double. Candelario has been platooning, so he probably will be in the lineup. Jorge Soler, hopefully the suspension goes through because he is 1 for 4 with a homer against Brandon Williamson. And then Travis d'Arnaud walked in his only plate appearance against Brandon Williamson. All right, the right-handed pitcher, George Clausen, is the Angels' number 4 prospect. Now, the Angels only have 1 player in the top 100. He's in the 70s. So top 4 prospect for the Angels, maybe not as high up as other franchises, but still they're number 4 prospect, making just his 2nd career big league start. And get this, Mike, he only made 2 starts at AAA. So this guy is very infancy in his big league career. He's a power pitcher. Fastball averages 97, flirts with triple digits, has 2 breaking pitches, a hard slider that can touch 90, and a power 86, 87 mile per hour curveball. Both missed a ton of bats, but during some of his inconsistency last year at AA, he got away from throwing his slider, became a little too fastball focused. His changeup is still a distant 4th pitch. That is the scouting report from MLB Pipeline. So hopefully George can get a welcome to the big leagues tomorrow. Reds can put up some crooked numbers, and we can all feel good about it.
5 walks in less than 2 2/3 innings in his first start of the year. So,
big league debut.
Yeah, big league debut. Yeah, the Angels like to do this. They draft based on like people that can get to the majors as fast as possible. Like I think Nolan Schwanuel, their first baseman, I think he played like a half. He got drafted and was up.
I think his debut was against the Reds.
Yeah, and he like the year he got drafted. So it's that's their approach, which is interesting, and let's hope that we can take advantage of them wanting him to develop in the major leagues by taking advantage of that wild pitching. We'll see. I mean, he threw 73 pitches in 2 2/3. I would imagine this guy's sprays his pitch count pretty high. It'd be nice to be able to get into that bullpen. Now's as good a time ever for those bats to wake up tomorrow afternoon in the brand new City Connect 2.0s. So
look good, feel good.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, Mike, this was a lot of fun. Thanks everyone for bearing with us through some struggles. We got one question here. I'll answer here on the way out. Thoughts on the Pirates having Skeens, Bubs, Seth Hernandez, and Connor Griffith? I guess that's a Pirates fan. Yeah, I mean, they can't hit worth a look either. So congrats on that starting rotation.
Skeens will be gone by the time Seth Hernandez is up anyway. So there's some good prospects, that's for sure.
Yeah, they can't play defense. So checking out scores around the NL Central. Congrats to the Pirates on their historic win today over the Cubs. They won 2-0. The Nationals lead the Brewers 5-3 in the top of the 9th. See if the Nationals still batting with runners on the corner. So hopefully the Nats can pull that off. The Cardinals leading the Red Sox 3-2. That is going to the bottom of the 7th. And we got a super chat from Michael Rolfe. He's saying, "Don't you dare, Nick Kirby, think on a Friday night I'm letting you get off this stream." Michael Rolfe just jumped in. Heads up, Cincy, long season. Yeah, I appreciate that, Rolfe. Yeah, look, it is a long season. I'm just happy they won all those close games, man, because if they didn't win all those close games, the vibes would really be down right now. I mean, if they went 500 in those games that were decided by 2 runs or less, I mean, the Reds record's what? I don't know, 6-10 right now. I don't know exactly where we're at, but that's just, you live to play another day. Today sucked. Last couple days sucked. It kind of stinks that the Reds have had got off these great starts. They got off to that great 3-1 start at the homestand against the The Red Sox and the Pirates lost the last two, kind of gave it back. Same thing on this road trip. But you know what, Mike? This is the we lost the first game. So now maybe we'll get to finish strong.
That's right.
Right?
I like that. Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that one. Get two out of here. Imagine how high the vibes are going to be on Sunday with you and Trace when we've won the next two games and took 2 out of 3 from the Angels. It's like, what were we worried about? The offense woke up. So, it's still out there. It's still there. It's still early. So even a couple games can really swing how we're feeling about this season.
Yeah. Look out, George Clausen. Reds offense is coming for you on Saturday. All right. Appreciate everyone watching. Tomorrow, are you on tomorrow with Craig? No, it's Craig and Greg. Craig and Greg. Greg making his Chatterbox Reds post-game debut. So those guys, I'm sure, will do a really good job. Looking forward to that. All right. Well, have a great night, everyone. We will talk again soon. And as always, and most important, go Reds.